Hello everyone. This is the third video for our IGCSE exam prep, entrance exam prep. The topic for this video is basics of programming. So first let us see what is programming. Programming is the process of writing instructions to the computer to perform certain tasks. Basically, it is telling the computer about what task it must perform or to communicate the task. Okay, for example, let's take, you have to just add two numbers or you have to tell the computer to add two numbers. So you write a simple code like sum is equal to num1 plus num2 and the computer gives you the result. Okay. Now, why should you learn programming? You should learn programming as it helps in problem solving. You can, break down a complex problem into simpler ones and find its solutions. It helps in enhancing your logical thinking. It teaches you for, structural thinking and planning, and it helps in creating technology. For example, programming is behind all the apps, websites, and the games that you play. Why is programming important? Okay, programming is literally everywhere, from the YouTube platform where you watch the videos to the social media apps you use or the platform where you play the games. Okay, everywhere programming is involved. Okay, so you have mobile apps and websites, and secondly you have various AI tools like chat gpt or robots or the self-driving cars, etc. These all they rely on programming. So what is a programming language? Now see, each one of us has, communicates with each other in some or the other languages. For example, say English, Hindi or Marathi. Okay, so in order to communicate with the computer and based on specific tasks, for example, app development or web development or just some procedural programming, there are different types of programming languages. Okay, example, you have Python, which is easy for beginners and it is used in web development, ML and AI. You have HTML, JavaScript and CSS, which helps in making wonderful web pages. Java is mostly used for app development. C is used for system programming. C++ for game development and it is object oriented language. And SQL is a query language to manage the databases. Now, let's talk about what is this front end, back end, and database. Okay, front end is nothing but it deals with the design or the appearance of, say, a website or app. Okay, what do I mean by appearance? In technical words, I mean the user interface or UI. Okay, which languages are used? We use languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript for designing our web pages or for a good appearance of the web pages. Then you have backend. Now, so suppose that you have come across the login page of Instagram. You enter your username and your password and you click on the submit button. Okay, now what next after that? Okay, so this data is sent to the database. It verifies your information and then it gives you the access to your account, right? So whatever this backend work, okay, is nothing but the server side of the application. It handles the data processing and the storage. The languages involved are Python, Java, Node.js, or PHP. Now, what is this database that I'm talking about? Database is nothing but a system which is used to store and manage the data. Example is SQL and it helps in storing the user data, transactions, and other important information. Now, there are three types of programming languages. You have the low level language, high level language, and the scripting languages. Low level languages are closer to the machine code or closer to the hardware. It directly interacts with the hardware. Okay, examples are the assembly language or the machine code. Okay, it is harder to write, but it has faster execution. Then you have high level languages. These high level languages are easier to understand because it is closer to human languages. It is easier to read and write. For example, Python, Java, JavaScript, or C++. Okay, but these languages require a compiler or interpreter, and these are portable languages, easier to learn. Okay. Next are the scripting languages. They are used for automating tasks and web development mostly. For example, you have Python, JavaScript, or say HTML, CSS, etc. Now let us move on to compiler versus interpreter. Just now I talked about, high level languages. They use compiler or interpreter. So what do I mean by this? Now suppose if I talk in English and I have to, communicate with a Japanese person. So, there is a language barrier between us. None of us will be easy, none of us will find it easy to understand each one's language, right? So in between I need a translator who will communicate my ideas to the other person, right? So the compiler and the interpreter does the same work just like a translator. So compiler is nothing but a tool that converts the high level code to machine code so that my ideas or my code is translated to the hardware of the computer. Okay, it reads the entire program at once and translates it and generates an executable file. Example of such languages are the C, Java and C++, whereas interpreter is going to read line by line and it will execute my code line by line. Okay, for example, you have Python and JavaScript, okay, and it does not create any executable files. Okay. And lastly, let's have an overview about what is an algorithm. An algorithm is nothing but a step-by-step set of instructions to solve a problem or complete a task. For example, you have a real life example of making a cup of tea. You will first boil the water, add tea powder, sugar, and then milk. Right? So basically, you are doing a step-by-step process to make tea or to get an output, right? So algorithm is the same thing. You are writing these steps to get to reach an output. Okay, they help ensure that a problem is solved efficiently and correctly. So that's it for today. For more information, contact Talent Home Solutions. We teach various programming languages. If you are interested, then do contact us. Thank you.